In this video I'm going to be making a custom bolt knob for my Savage Axis rifle. As you can see, I've already got the bolt handle removed from the bolt. I've filled in one of these lightning cuts with just some JB Weld epoxy. This is just going to be to fill in this gap and make it easier to mold the actual handle that I'm going to be putting on here later. The most specialized piece of equipment for this project is going to be this. It's a silicone mold I've made out of a material called dragon skin. You can sort of see it was a cast that it's a mold that I cast around a prototype made from resin that I cast using another mold of a deep well socket. Essentially what's going to happen is I've got the bolt handle going to be inserted into this side. Then the epoxy resin and fiberglass is going to be poured around it, leaving a bolt handle. Leaving a bolt handle in place. Now it also is going to help me find the point at which I'm going to drill and tap for a 1032 machine head screw or machine screw. That's going to be the backbone of this bolt handle. Now I don't know how well it's going to show up, but I already have made a permanent marker line or cross where I'm going to be drilling and tapping for a 1032 machine screw. This is going to give it the knob a bit more backbone and allow it to use the full leverage of the entire length of the knob without putting too much stress on the epoxy. To find this, I used the center of the silicone mold and then just marked it using a permanent marker. It's not exactly on the mold line, which you probably also won't be able to see in the camera, but it is on a more central axis to the center line of the bolt. So that I'm going to first of all file flat, center punch, and then start drilling. Okay, the major metalworking is done. You can see I've got a 1032 cap head screw just sort of holding the space in there right now. But the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to take some paste wax just on a brush and coat the threads. And then once this hardens up, I'm going to start putting on some masking tape. On the head too, I guess. Okay, I've got the wax is dried and I've got some masking tape going around the threads here just to be sure no epoxy gets involved in there and forms a lock. I'm going to insert this into the mold. Here we are. Make sure it's centered and positioned correctly. Here we are. I've also got a hose clamp I'm going to put around the bottom here to help prevent any epoxy from leaking out the bottom. I apologize for the technical issues that caused me to miss the recording of me mixing the epoxy. It's not too interesting in and of itself, just a bit of dye and some fiberglass floc. I'm going to pull up a piece to show you. But we're going to extract the bolt and knob from the mold now, which means loosening up the clamp here. And then just sort of working the rubber to release the part itself. And you can hear it as the rubber stretches away from the polymer. Well, I guess it's both polymers. It's a silicone rubber. You can see there, it's a solid piece of epoxy that's been reinforced with fiberglass. There are two ways to do it. The way I have it is so that it's pointed on one end, which should allow me to slide it through, or I can try to put it through the hole down here. There we are. Perfect. Alright, you can see the original bolt knob is just showing through barely right here, which should be covered up when I refinish the whole thing. I also had some overspill, or just some leakage out from beneath the mold itself, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem when I go to clean up the whole thing to repaint. Okay, everything's been painted and reassembled. You can see I've got the 1032 button head screw installed with a washer. I may paint the washer flat black later on. The knob has been painted in truck bed coating, which I found to be pretty durable for this type of application. One little error here where I accidentally left it sitting on some paper before it was officially dry to the touch. The rest of the body has been painted with some flat black high temperature spray paint, and it's just a matter now of reinstalling it on the bolt. Alright, now you can see the bolt handle with the new knob has been reinstalled on the bolt of the Savage Axis 30-06. It really does seem to help. There's not a whole lot of new real estate here, just about 3/4 of an inch, but it really does seem to help with bolt lift, just in terms of getting a better grasp and a little more leverage. The leverage for which is actually being transmitted through this 1032 machine screw, supported by a washer, which I may paint later on, that's been threaded into the bolt handle. You can see the end of the factory bolt handle here where the knob is sort of stuck through the epoxy. It also gives some idea of the security or the longevity of this type of project. Torque is being transmitted through the steel, and even if it does for some reason break, I'm still left with the full-length factory bolt handle. It does clear the eyepiece bell, no problem. You can get a firm grip and work it through without any sort of interference with the scope. This is one of the things I was concerned with when I was initially devising the profile of the new bolt handle knob, which is just a sort of flat oval. I don't know how well you can see it there. But if you're designing your own, that's going to be one thing to consider, as well as the ability to sort of absorb or hide the factory bolt handle knob. But anyway, like on all my videos, please feel free to comment or leave questions or concerns in the comment section or as a video response. And also be sure to check out my other videos for some cool projects. Thanks a lot, and thanks for watching.